This is ThinkTech Hawaii. My name is Cynthia Lee Sinclair, and I want to welcome you to the very first episode of Finding Respect in the Chaos. And as we all know, there's plenty of chaos out there, and I think it's important that we find respect for ourselves, for others, and for this world. The title for today's show is Changing the Face of Gender-Based Violence by Early Intervention with Young People. And I'm here today with Chelsea Stewart. Chelsea, thank you so much for coming today.
Thank you for letting me be here.
Oh, yeah. Chelsea works with the Domestic Violence Action Center. She actually works specifically in the colleges as is it college survivor advocate? Is that your title?
We're called the Campus Survivor Advocacy Program, or CSAP for short.
Oh, okay. Why don't you tell us a little bit about the Domestic Violence Action Center, maybe even a little bit about domestic violence to begin with. Some people aren't really even clear about what is the definition of domestic violence.
Sure. So, DVAC, domestic violence, or DV for short, it's a very broad definition because there's different types of abuse. Most people assume domestic violence to be just physical, like one person beating their intimate partner.
Right.
But there's actually a lot more to that that a lot of people aren't aware about. Domestic violence can be emotional, psychological, sexual, and even financial abuse as well. Domestic Violence Action Center, the agency I work for, actually began in 1990. Our original name was the Clearinghouse, but we started out as an organization with 2 people, and now we have a staff of over 50.
Wow, and it was Nancy Kriegman, right? Is that who started it?
Yes.
That's our founder, right?
Nancy Kriegman, yes.
Nice. Do you have any statistics for us of what kind of statistics we're looking at here in Hawaii?
So it's very difficult to get statistics, mainly because a lot of times domestic violence is underreported.
Right.
What I can say, I can only get statistics off of the national database. The general statistics that we always use is in a person's lifetime, 1 out of 3 women and 1 out of every 4 men will experience domestic violence on some level. In Hawaii, what we do know is that the rates are a lot higher for Asian for the Asian and Pacific Island communities.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow, those are some staggering statistics.
They are.
Whew. Okay, so tell us what kind of stuff you guys do at DVAC. Is that what you call it, DVAC, instead of Domestic Violence Action Center?
Yeah, it's kind of a mouthful. So DVAC for short is okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
What kind of stuff do you guys do? What kind of programs do you have? What do you guys do with that?
We have a lot of advocacy programs, and our main goal is to educate and intervene. We have a legal team where we have a group of attorneys that specialize in what we call DV law, so family law, family court, for example.
Right.
So we have attorneys that represent clients in their TRO cases, paternity, divorce, and post-decree cases. We also have various types of advocacy divisions. We have actually an advocacy group that specializes in parenting, so they help domestic violence victims and survivors sort of bridge the gap, between them and with their kids.
Right, because it's so important that we get these kids taught at an early age to be respectful instead of waiting until after the fact and then trying to retrain them. Right, let's teach them right the first time. Right.
Exactly, and that's our goal, is to help the families in general, especially the survivors, reconnect with their children. We also have a support group called Hawaii Kaika. It's a 9-month, 3-phase program. It's actually more of a cultural support group, so it caters more towards the Native Hawaiian community. Okay. We also provide short-term advocacy as well. So we have advocates that are actually based in the Kapolei Family Courthouse and at the district court. Mm-hmm. So if anyone needs help filing restraining orders, they'll help them with their paperwork and try to help the petitioners understand what the process is like, because a lot of times the legal system is intimidating, and sometimes that can also be a turnoff for a lot of victims leaving the relationship that's going through that route. As of September 2016, the 2 newest advocacy groups is the CSAP, the Campus Survivor Program that I work for, and the Safe on Scene, or SOS. team, as we call them. The
Okay.
SOS team, it's very young as well, and we have advocates that actually go to the scenes, dispatch calls them whenever there's domestic incidents, and they can go to the scene and accompany and help the victims.
Oh my gosh, I wish something like this had been available for me because I went through domestic violence, and this is back in the early 80s when I finally stood up and said no more. And there was nothing like this, Jen. And you're right, trying to navigate the legal system is scary and intimidating. And I almost just threw up my hands and said forget it a couple times because I just couldn't handle all of that because it's so much.
It is.
Could you tell us a little bit more about the program that you do at college, this is how I know her. I know Chelsea is because she is our DVAC counselor at Windward College, so that's how I know her. But tell us more about the college program and how many UH college campuses and all that.
Sure. We're very new, so we're still trying to get into the hang of everything because we started in September 2016. We have 2 full-time advocates, me and another advocate, that are based out of 5 different campuses. So
5?
Yes.
Wow, that's great.
We only provide direct services to those living on Oahu, though. So I am based out of Honolulu Community College and Windward Community College. I split my week between those 2 campuses.
Okay.
The other advocate is based out of LCC Waianae, LCC Pro City, and UH West Oahu. So we try to provide both long-term and short-term advocacy support for victims of domestic violence. And it's not just students, but victims that are affiliated with the university system somehow. So it could be student, could be faculty, could be staff or administrator. Okay. Even if someone just has a question about what a health relationship is like, if they want legal information, they can call us, set up an appointment, or walk in, and we can provide the support that they need.
I know you can't, because of confidentiality and everything, give us a real exact picture, but could you give us a general idea of how many students you work with at the colleges?
It's difficult to say.
Right. I don't mean to put you on the spot.
No, it's okay. It's a common question, but I don't. How should I put this? I don't have an exact number yet. When I have a report come out, then I'll let you know.
Okay.
Yeah.
That sounds great.
Yeah.
Okay. I like that. So where do you see the future of Domestic Violence Action Center going from here? Where do you think you've got?
There's a lot of things that I want DVAC to accomplish, and we're already accomplishing a lot right now. I mean, our mission is to stop domestic violence and end domestic violence through leadership, prevention, and advocacy, which is what we're doing, and I want to see DVAC continue that goal. Hopefully, and ultimately, we want to change the perception of domestic violence, and we want to help people recognize the signs of domestic violence and use that as a tool to help other people recognize that that's what domestic violence is, and maybe if they see a friend or family member going through that, then they can give us a call and we could help them.
And so it's not just for victims, but it's also for friends and family of victims that say, hey, listen, my sister is in a bad relationship, what do I do?
Yes.
So it's also out there to be able to give advice for that too, which is really wonderful. That's a great program. Wow. So what do you think of all this stuff that's happening in the news these days? I mean, most of it's sexual harassment in the workplace, but it all kind of revolves around this same issue of gender-based violence.
It's sad, but I'm glad that it's finally being recognized.
Amen to that.
Yes, I mean, sexual harassment, domestic violence, they've existed since time began.
Right.
But only recently it feels like there's been recognition and change.
Right.
So I'm glad that it's finally being brought to light, and it's bringing discussions.
Exactly.
Which is, I think, what most people need. I
agree. I think that's the most important part of all of this. I've been doing work with domestic violence victims for many, many years, and I've felt like a voice crying in the wilderness for a long time, and now I'm not alone, and I like that. And other people get to feel that too. They get to know they're not alone now, so it's safer to be able to come out and speak about these things. You know, one thing I'd like to say to everybody out there is that if you hear something during the show today and it triggers something inside of you, I want you to please call the numbers that we're going to display on the screen here for you. If you have any questions, or if you just have some feelings that have come up, you know, something that may have happened to you years ago and you thought was buried, but suddenly it comes back, please don't hesitate to call, okay? Because it's important that you know you're not alone, because you're not. And I think that's important that we keep this discussion going right now, too, about all of these issues that, like you said, they finally come out, and people are talking about them. You know, something that I've been thinking about, and one of the reasons that it kind of keeps going, is that it's personal for everyone now.
Yes.
It used to be that you could say, oh, well, that happens to somebody else, or that's the neighbors, or that's, you know, down the street. And now, like for me, I loved Al Franken, you know, and now I can't like him anymore. So it's personal in that sense.
Yes.
And when I thought about that, I thought, you know, now for me it's always been personal because I've experienced it myself. But for people that haven't had that personal experience, that's easier to say, oh, well, you know, it happens to somebody else, and avoid it. And now it's personal. They love their senators. They love these guys. So they're invested in this, and now they've been betrayed.
Yes.
So each person feels betrayed now, so they are involved.
Exactly. And I completely agree with that. And I think another reason, too, and this is what some people have been writing, that the 2016 election could also have played a part in that, the election. And if you're on social media, there's been the Me Too campaign.
Yes.
And I think that's definitely brought to light of people really recognizing that that's really did happen, and just coming out and accepting the fact that this is what happens to anyone, whether it's your family member, your friend, your coworker. This can affect everyone.
Right. And if we don't change this patriarchal dynamic, and we don't get some gender equality going, it's gonna continue. But I can't imagine that we can ever go back. The cat's out of the bag now. I cannot imagine trying to stuff that cat back in the bag. I can't imagine that it could happen in this day and age now. I think you're right about the election. Having the president be accused of all of those things and then still be elected for the stuff that's going on in Alabama with Roy Moore, for him to have people that still want to vote for him is just insane to me. And I lived in Alabama for a number of years, and so I kind of understand that ignorant, I don't want to be too mean, but
that mindset.
that mindset. So, you know, I know that things are changing, and I think that's what's important. And in just a few minutes, we're going to come back after a break, and we are going to see some videos of a program called No Means No Worldwide. So I hope that you will stay with us, and Chelsea will still be here, and it's been great having you with us, so don't go anywhere. Please stay with us.
Thank you.
Kindness. Pass it on. A message from the Foundation for a Better Life.
Living in this crazy world, so caught up in the confusion, nothing is making sense for me and you. We've got to give a little love, have a little hope, make this world a little better. Try a little more, harder every more, let's do what we can.
Welcome back to Finding Respect in the Chaos. I am Cynthia Lee Sinclair, and the title of this episode is Changing the Face of Gender-Based Violence by Early Intervention with Young People. And as you remember, we're back here with Chelsea Stewart from the Domestic Violence Action Center. But as I promised you before the break, we are going to see some videos today, and I'm very proud to say that it is my brother who started this program about 25 years ago. He opened a school just outside of Nairobi in Kenya as an AIDS orphanage school. And he's been there for a very long time, and the rape culture that is so prevalent there really started to make him think about things. And he wanted to try to intervene beforehand. So he started this program with his wife called No Means No Worldwide. And it started just after it had started. They made a video in 2012. And we're going to show you that video right now. If you would please roll that video for us.
The type of rape that I had, if it hadn't happened to me, then I wouldn't understand it. I would be like, why don't these women scream? Because I didn't scream. Why don't these girls fight back? Because I didn't fight back.
Hi, my name is Jackie Naoko.
I'm 16, nasomea Genesis.
One day nilitumwa na mother. Siku moja nilipokuwa nimetumwa na mamangu.
Ilikuwa usiku. Nikatoka nje, nilikuwa nimetumwa.
Hiyo area ilikuanga tu blackout.
Nilipata vijana watatu wakiwa wamejiamia hapo.
Walikuwa wajua njenye napitia.
Ilikuanga ni kijana alikuanga ananitakanga.
They were trying to get my attention.
When I stepped out of the gate in order to allow them to pass so that they can go, one of them grabbed me.
Akajaribu kunigrab mkono. Kidogo akanishika shingo hivi.
Akaanza kumove down to my breast. Mmoja wao akaanza kunishika matako, afa kanarua skirt.
Akajaribu kunishika vagina.
Nikawakumbuka tu wale wa No Means No Worldwide wamenifundisha nini.
Nikasimama hivi,
Nikampima, nikamgonga kama fist.
walikuwa watano, wengine wakanifunga hivi.
Nilitembea nikamake hajaniweka katikati yao.
Nikamgonga kwa mgongo na elbow.
Nikamshika hivi moja.
Nikamshika hivi, nikampiga kwa the groin. Akaanguka chini.
And then I yelled. No!
It's not a theory. It's not a question.
Self-defense is the most protection against any assault.
I'll use it. Don't get me started. I've got my body.
Nilifanya hivi, akaruka ndio nikapata chance.
Whew, that's quite a video, huh?
Yeah, it is.
Sometimes it's hard to be related to him because I think, wow, what am I doing? Gosh, he's out there saving the world, you know? We both came from that same abusive childhood, yet I think this is a great example that there's hope and healing on the other side, that we can take where we've been and use it to help others.
Yes.
And that's what he has done. That's what I'm trying to do with this show. We'll be putting out a website for you guys, or actually an email for anyone that's out there, any survivors that are out there that would like to have their story told. I'm going to have you be able to go to an email. You can send me the email, and I will be featuring one story a week, or an episode, excuse me, for us all to know that, see, there is hope and healing on the other side, so that everyone can see that. So please send in your stories, if you would, to survivorcentral@thinktechhawaii.com, and you can find that email on the website when this issue and when this episode is posted to the YouTube playlist tomorrow. Oh man, what do you think about that video?
I think it's a great program. You know, I think it's definitely turning victims into survivors, you know, and it shows that, you know, everyone can do something. You know, not everyone has to be a police officer to intervene or to prevent something. You know, everyone can play a role,
right,
in prevention and intervention and education, most of all.
Yeah, education, absolutely the most important thing, because if we can intervene early, like we were saying a little bit ago, you know, you can change the whole paradigm. Instead of trying to retrain them when they grow up, let's train them right from the beginning.
Exactly.
So I know that from all of the stuff that they learned in working with all the girls and teaching them the self-defense stuff, they decided to add another element to it. And you're going to see that in this next little video clip. And this is just from 2017. So in the last 5 years, you will see how far they've come from where they started. If you would roll that second clip for us, please. I love that they've added the boys program to that. What a difference it's going to make. And apparently the boys, in just like 5 sessions, completely changed their way of thinking. That they don't know any better, because they only know what they live, and what they've lived is a rape culture. And so this is trying to help to change that.
Yes.
And the fact that it's going into the every high school in Nairobi is just really exciting to me. The thing that I think is really amazing is that my brother has done this. Basically, he has been the financial support for this program by himself this whole time. It's amazing to me. He has some people that, you know, have donated to the program. Of course, there needs to be more if you happen to want to. But so it's just amazing to me to see what he has done just all by himself. That's
amazing. Yeah, and I like that it's also targeting the boys too. I mean, because we do live in a patriarchal society, whether we like it or not. And in order to change that paradigm, you know, to go through a paradigm shift, you know, you have to educate the young.
right.
And I think it's very similar to what DVEC is also doing. We target high schools and colleges now. Our Teen Alert program actually reached out to, I believe, more than 500 students over the past school year, all across the state, at various high school and middle schools, to talk about what healthy relationships should look like. So I think that's another great program, and we haven't gotten up to elementary level with the brother program yet, but I think what they're doing it's very parallel to each other.
And what was the name of that program?
It's called the Teen Alert program.
Teen Alert. Oh, I like that.
Yes.
That's great. Wow. This has been a lot of fun, you know. It's just amazing to think about all the stuff that's going to come out now and the possibility for changing, like you said. Let's change this paradigm. I want to keep this groundswell moving, right? Because I don't want it to just sort of fade back out of the picture. And I think that there's a program called the White Ribbon Campaign, and I know you've probably heard me talking about it at school. I'm like, that's my big thing nowadays. I want to make men be accountable in the prevention stages, right? And what they do when they get that white ribbon and wear it is they take a pledge. And the pledge is, I will not commit, condone, or keep silent about violence against women and girls. And so it's asking men that don't abuse to stand up to the men that do. And let's get rid of that, oh, it's just locker room talk, you know, kind of mentality.
Yeah.
But so, you know, I hope that you'll come back again one day and visit this show, because we're going to be talking about these kind of important matters. Chelsea, I cannot thank you enough for coming today.
No problem.
It's been really, really great having you here.
Thank you. Thank you.
Oh, you're welcome. Absolutely welcome. So remember, if you've had any kind of triggers today, or you have any kind of uncomfortable feelings and you want to reach out for some help, please call those numbers that are on the screen right now for you, because help is available. Reach out. We can help you. And please send me your stories, right? Survivor Central at ThinkTechHawaii.com. I look forward to seeing everyone again at the next show, which will be on December 15th at 3 o'clock. So if you can come back and join us then, it would be really great. And Chelsea, I think I'd like to have you come back too and give us an update on the work that you're doing at the schools and all that.
I would love to.
That would be great. Do you have one last thing maybe that you would like to say to everyone out there?
I think one thing that I did want to mention is actually one of the things that you already put up there is our hotline number. Our legal hotline, that 808-531-3771 number, it's open, it's available Monday through Friday, 8:30 a.m. to 4:30 p.m.
Okay.
Yes.
And there are other 800 numbers, you guys, that are 24 hours. So if you're having a problem at 12 o'clock at night and DVAC happens to be closed, then you can find the other 800 numbers online. It's a simple Google search. You will get the numbers that you need. And I say, if you don't get help at the first place, reach out again to the next person, to somebody else. Just make sure you're safe. Be careful in your reaching out, okay? And be careful, everyone out there. Thank you for joining us. This is ThinkTech Hawaii, and this was Finding Respect in the Chaos.